let me show you exactly how I am planning to achieve more in 12 weeks than others achieve in 12 months. First of all, the most important thing for me, and again, I'm not saying that I'm an expert on goal settings at all, because I'm not. I'm just sharing what works for me, and it might be completely different for you. One of the things that I've learned over the years that works best for me is I don't create a plan for everything. So let me explain what I mean by this. Many years ago, I heard about a concept that they use in the military, which is called backwards planning. And you might have heard about this. The idea here is that you start with the exact goal in mind and then plan backwards. And again, I've heard this example many years ago where it was used in the military, where they say, for example, okay, let's say that you want to invade a camp on the enemy's territory. So the idea here is now go backwards and say, okay, what exactly has to happen right before you invade the camp? Well, this where obviously you need to have your troops surrounding the camp. Okay, so and then you go one step backwards. What needs to happen before you have your troops surrounding the camp? And I'm making this up here as we go. I don't recall this example exactly, but you might know about this. And no, I was not in the military. This is an example that I've heard. Anyhow, so in order to surround this camp with your troops, what do you need to do? You need to get your troops to that camp that you want to invade, right? And in order to do this, first of all, let's assume that this is on foreign soil. Somehow you need to get your troops to foreign soil. So this is what the military often uses, so I was told, which is used backwards planning. So the idea here with backwards planning is that you create a detailed step-by-step plan of what to do. So here's one of the challenges. I don't do this because here, based on my experience, the problem is with this, what do you do if something goes wrong, right? So let's say that one of the first steps is that you're getting your troops on foreign soil, and what happens if somehow you can't because there's bad weather or you're getting attacked, right? So this is where I found that often when you do this, that the whole plan becomes kind of useless. This is where, for me, I figured out that planning can be overwhelming. And for me, sometimes it is daunting. And this is when I feel paralyzed. And I don't know about you, what happened way in the past, before I did what I'm about to show you here, is I got paralyzed and I was planning or even not planning. So I never achieved my goals because I couldn't get over the first hurdle of planning. And so I want to show you exactly what I do these days to avoid this. Number one, I write down my goal. And this is supposed to say, so step number 2, I plan the next 2 to 3 steps. And here's why. My idea is, and this is what I found to be true, when I walk the first steps, the path will reveal itself. In fact, I was looking for a picture earlier, so I want to give full credits to Rosalind Wilkins, who took this amazing picture of a path. You see, that's kind of in the fog, so you don't see actually the end of the path where it is leading. But when I have a goal, I realize that when I plan out the first few steps and start walking, you see, as soon as you get here towards the end where you can see, the path will again reveal itself, and this is where you then see more. So this is where, going back to my planning process, which again might be good or not, I mean, it works really for me. Plan the next 2 to 3 steps, then I take action and complete these steps. And then when I see the next, right, then I add more steps. Yeah, more steps or to-dos to it. Is this making sense thus far? And I want to give you a very specific example here right now. And again, today is all about planning and how to achieve more in 12 weeks that most people achieve in 12 months. But I want to make sure that this is making sense thus far. If it is, do me a favor and click on like really quick, because this way I see if this makes sense. All right, so let me give you a very specific example of how I'm doing this. So let's go back to the document where I have all my goals. And I want to jump to this goal, buy a resort in Mexico. Because again, this might be an absolute stupid idea, but in the last session, we already talked about my trading plan for how exactly I'm planning to make $15,000 per month. And if you missed the previous Coffee with Markus, I'll link to it in the description. So if you're here and want to see specific trading strategies, I'll link to it in the description. But right now, let me show you an example about buying a resort in Mexico, which again might be absolutely stupid. So here's how I do it. You see, usually I just write myself a quick overview here of what is it that I want to achieve. So that's basically what do I want to do, and I'm meeting with my private mastermind members usually 3 times per year in exotic locations to trade, relax, and make money together. And in the past, as you can see, we have been doing it in the Cayman Islands, in Bahamas, Puerto Rico, and Mexico, and other locations. And finding a hotel with reliable Wi-Fi, as well as getting all of our equipment there, has been really challenging. So right now, also, I think that there's a tremendous opportunity because I know for a fact that the travel and hospitality industry is hurt because of COVID-19. Yes, we are at the beginning of 2021, right? And there might be a possibility, and you see, I say, I don't know for a fact, but there might be a possibility to buy a hotel or resort for 60 to 70 cents on the dollar. Maybe. Let's see, right? So if that's the case, it would be possible to make a 50% ROI within 1 to 2 years. And that's not bad at all, right? Could be even more, could be potentially more, could be 100%. So this is where now I'm writing down a few to-dos. And this is where it goes back to my planning process, right? So I write down my goal, right? And an overview of what I want to accomplish. So now you know why I'm doing this, what I want to accomplish here. And now I plan the next 2 to 3 steps. So let's take a look at this here together. And my first steps here, as you can see, it's not that much. First of all, I want to get an idea what kind of investment is needed at all. Is a resort here around $1 million, $2 million? Is it more, right? Is it less? And then I want to get an idea if this is possible at all to make money with this. Because ultimately, if I can money with it, why would I do it? I mean, just having a hotel to have a hotel, this does not make sense. So what's the best location? And the location should be up to 1,000 miles away from us. And here's why. Because I am planning to buy a plane, which again might be a stupid idea. So I'll run through the numbers together with you here really quick in the same way as I'm doing it here right now. And this plane that I have in mind right now has a reach of 1,000 miles. So, and I don't want to stop for fuel in the Gulf of Mexico because I don't know if you can even fill up a plane there. So I'm looking at possibly Mexico, maybe Puerto Rico, Belize, Dominican Republic, right? Honduras, who knows? But let's talk about this first, right? Because this is where I'm in the feasibility phase here. So this is where I first wanted to see, okay, what is a possible price point here? If you attended the last session, you know that last weekend I have been in Sacramento to meet with my head coach, Mark Hodge, and then also from my company, my CEO, Debbie, and marketing director, Jared, and I shared this crazy idea with them. And so we had some fun and we're actually looking for some apartments online. And Jared just found a website where he says, oh my gosh, there is a bunch of resorts, and I captured these in a document here, right? Where you see, we found a few in Mexico. I'll show them to you. So the first one here, this one, for example, has 20 rooms and costs around $2 million. We found another one. This has 92 rooms. That might be a little bit too big, right? And they also didn't disclose the price. Then we found another one in Belize. So in Belize, it's with 6 cabanas. That might not be big enough for what I have in mind. And it costs $1.9 million. So this is the one that, just to give you an idea what this looks like. So this is the restaurant, looks pretty nice. So there are private cabanas. So pretty cool, right on the beach, right? I like this idea. So we were looking at a few others. There was another one here in Belize. This actually quite interesting. So this has 15 rooms for $990,000. So you get the idea. I just want to show you this document where I pieced it together because based on what you see here, it is probably between $1 to $2 million that I would have to invest for anywhere between 20 and 30 rooms. You see here 26 rooms for 2.49 million. And now we go to the next step in this process here, right? So we get an idea already what kind of investment is needed. So it's probably between 1 and 2 million. So that was fairly easy. It only took me a few hours here. So we're already done. So now the question is it possible at all to make money with this? Because if not, then I can stop right here. I have been investing in apartment complexes. So I've been doing this for the past 5 years. And as an example, I bought an apartment complex with 48 units here in Austin for $2.3 million. So I know how to run this, and I know that I am making money on $30,000 in rent per month. As we talk more about investing in apartment complexes, I'll be happy to break this down for you, but $30,000 in rent per month, if I'm bringing this in, is covering my financing, which is a mortgage, also insurance. This is also taking care of the property management. This is taking care of the utilities, the maintenance of the place. This is taking care of renovations as well as capital improvements, which means that I build a nice fence around. So, I mean, I did a few things to the property. Now, I know. Having an apartment complex is not the same as running a hotel or resort, right? But I just wanted to see at all if this is feasible. And in a moment, I'll show you why this is making sense. So you see, I already know on 48 units, which is quite a lot, on $30,000, I can do all of this and I'm making a profit. So that's good. Not a big profit, but I'm making a profit. So this is good. So now the question is, if I need $30,000, let's divide this by 30 days because now we are going to the resort, right? This means that I would have to bring in revenue $1,000 per day. You know that the apartment complex or the resorts that I started to look into, here we go, were around 26 rooms, 17 rooms, 22 rooms, right? So here, let's just say that I will find something around the $2 million mark that has maybe 25 rooms. So this is what I'm looking for. So the key question is, can I make $1,000 per day in revenue, not in profits, with 25 rooms? And it sounds like it's possible, right? I mean, again, I have no clue. There's probably, yes, there's more vacancy, right? But if I have $1,000 a day, if I can rent out half of the rooms every day, 50% vacancy, right? So this would be 50% vacancy, which I don't know, is that good or bad, right? And if I can rent them out for $80 per day, right? So this means that I would have rented 12 rooms for $80 per day, which is $1,000. Does sound possible. And I know that there's housekeeping, so there's probably more than property management and maintenance, right? But I believe that these are quite realistic assumptions. If they're not, and if you have experience in this space, leave me a comment. Let me know here. But here's the important thing. Let's tie this back to what today's show is all about, right? How I get more done in 12 weeks than most people get in 12 months, right? Now, here's the deal. How long did it take me to do the first two things thus far? Well, I can tell you 4 to 5 hours. And now I know whether it makes sense pursuing it before I go down a rabbit hole. Now, let me just show you something. When I mentioned this idea to our mastermind members, one of our mastermind members, Ricardo, right, said, hey, I have a business plan template. And he sent me this business plan template for running hotels/resorts because he's from Switzerland and he has some friends who have experience with this. Just showing you this document. This is a business plan. It's in German, right? But look at this. So this is where it has a management summary that you have to write. It has to say something about the company, the concept, what are you planning to do? Look at all of this. This is probably, when it's all said and done, a 30 to 40 page document, right? I mean, thanks, Ricardo, for sending it over, but this looks overwhelming. So this is where, if I would have to fill this out right now, nothing would get done at all. So what is my point with all of this? My point is stick to something really, really simple. And this is here. It is really that easy where you say, okay, let's set a goal, then plan the next 2 to 3 steps, or if you want to go crazy as I did here, we could do 3 to 5 steps. Then the most important thing here is take action and complete these first steps, okay? Because then you see whether it makes sense, and then you can actually plan the next 3 to 5 steps and complete this process. Anyhow, this is how I do it. And is this helpful at all? And if you like this and you want to see how I will accomplish all of these goals, this is what these shows are all about. And I know that previously, last year, we focused a lot on trading. And yes, we will keep talking about trading. In the previous show, I showed you my exact plan of how I plan to trade a $500,000 account so that I can make $15,000 per month. Anyhow, if you would like to follow along and see what I'm doing here, then I have something for you. And all you need to do is go to rockwelltrading.com/myplan. And when you go there and enter your email address, we will send you a link to this document so that you can follow along if you want to.